What's good, y'all? It's Kid Kinsey back with another video. Well, technically it's two videos in one because a few months back I had like this giant 3-part series where I just went over the way people get One Piece to like 30k and 100k FTL, and like I kinda debunked it. Not that I think FTL One Piece is invalid, it's just like when you get to like 30k and like 50k, it takes a lot of reaches and calc stacking and just taking things out of context. So yeah, that's what I talked about in the video. Personally, I think the katakuri portion of it is the really good part because it goes over the scaling as well as the writing, and to be honest, I might make a longer video about that fight, talking about the scaling and like the narrative implications that the fight had, because I think it's a really good fight. With that being said, if you're a One Piece speed goon, this video might upset you, but again, I'm not saying it's not FTL. What I'm saying is, all that stacking and stuff to get to 100k FTL, yeah, no. So for the people who debate against One Piece, I hope this video helps, and for the One Piece fans, I really hope you like the katakuri portion of it. Enjoy. You know, I love One Piece. Been a fan since the 4Kids days, when Zoro was called Zolo. Watched it on Toonami, came on after Naruto in fact. Once I heard that, yo, gotta go, I became a fan, like that was really my song. But that speed wank has got to go. That pure rattery that people use to get One Piece speed to like 30k FTL has plagued the scaling community. Now, let me be clear. I do think you can get One Piece to faster than light, but those huge numbers that people use to inflate it just take things out of context, and to be honest, they're just reaches. And to my knowledge, it comes from 4 different things, and I'll be addressing that in a quick 2-part series. Now, when people get One Piece's speed so high, it's usually a combination of these 4 things. They use the Doroshiki power levels to say that Lucy is 5 times stronger and faster than Bluno. They use the 3D 2Y special to say that when Brundy World amped himself by 100 times, Luffy was able to keep up with him, therefore, Luffy got 100 times faster over the time skip. They use Gear 4th raising its power several times to say that Gear 4th is 3 to 4 times stronger, and then they use the statement that when Katakuri told Luffy, "You're no longer inferior to me," that now means that base Luffy equals base Katakuri. Now, all of those statements are just either inconsistent or just straight up taken out of context, especially the Katakuri statement, but I'm here to show you why. Let's start with the Doroshiki power level that makes people think that Gear 2nd Luffy is a 5 times amp. Now, when people see this, they automatically assume that Lucy must be 5 times faster, stronger, and more durable than Bluno. But this is not Dragon Ball Z. Not all power levels work the same across every single series. Now I have the question, did you watch Enies Lobby to see how these power levels were even got? The Doroshiki test was literally just testing how hard they hit. They all punched Zippermouth across the room, and that's how they got their numbers. Nowhere does it imply that Lucy is 5 times faster. He just hit the Zippermouth 5 times harder. Oh, but base Luffy could keep up with Bluno, meanwhile he needed Gear 2nd to keep up with Lucy. That's wrong. Base Luffy could also keep up with base Lucy. It's just that he needed Gear 2nd when Lucy started to use his hybrid forms, because we know Zoan's amp speed. Since we're on the topic of gears, let's also talk about this Gear 4th multiplier. Let's establish the fact that Gear 2nd could already keep up with Dofi. In fact, Dofi even calls it fast. Dofi says Gear 4th raises his power several times beyond its limit, so people assume that to be 3 to 4. That's fair. Boundman's AP being 3 to 4 times stronger is okay, but where is this 3 to 4 times speed boost implied? Yes, the first 2 hits caught Dofi off guard, but after that he was easily able to adjust to Gear 4th Luffy and keep up with him in speed. Does Boundman make him faster? Possibly, but does his speed go up as much as his AP to say 4 times? Absolutely not. When people saw Katakuri tell Luffy that he no longer thinks he's inferior to him, they jumped out the window and they assumed that this now means base Luffy equals base Katakuri. And I just want to please ask power scalers to use context sometimes. Statements aren't just said in a vacuum. There are things surrounding it, and if you look at everything that happened before and after this statement, you'll see why assuming Katakuri literally meant that base Luffy is now equal to base Katakuri is peak rattery, and honestly, is agenda pushing only rivaled by Skip Bayless. Now, let's look at everything that happened before Katakuri made this statement. Katakuri has literally been beating Luffy up for hours, and he's questioning why he won't give up. And then Luffy tells him, "Because my friends believe in me." Flampe shoots a numbing needle at Luffy, making him unable to dodge Katakuri's attack. So when Katakuri knocks Luffy out, he says, "Just when I was starting to admit you were worthy, you suddenly show yourself to be disappointing." So let's establish the fact that Katakuri was slowly gaining respect for Luffy during the fight. Luffy eventually gets back up, but then this time when she shoots a needle at him, he's able to dodge it, and that tips Katakuri off that he's been getting outside help within the fight. So when walking over to Flampe, he's talking to himself in his mind and saying, "Damn, the only reason I got a fatal blow was because I received assistance." He takes off his scarf, which is a big character moment for him, because that's the mouth that he used to get made fun of in his youth, and then proceeds to tell her that when two men are fighting, that the last thing he needs is some assistance. He then apologizes to Luffy, and that's when he says the quote, "I no longer think you're inferior to me." Now let's talk about the quote with proper context. At the start of the fight, Katakuri was talking down to Luffy, but after hours of beating him up and Luffy not giving up, Katakuri slowly started to gain respect for him. When Katakuri found out that he was getting the upper hand because of his outside assistance, he got mad and lashed out at his own family. Him taking the scarf off and saying, "I no longer think you're beneath me," is from a respect standpoint. The scarf hid his true self, but now he can look Luffy face to face, man to man, and say we're equals. Not every statement is meant to be taken at a meathead super scalar perspective. These are still characters at the end of the day. Man, you're just hating. Base Luffy equals Katakuri, deal with it. If that's the case, then how come Katakuri is able to keep up and knock Snake Man out? Katakuri was always able to keep up with Snake Man's speed. It's the homing attack aspect that caught him off guard. But literally the moment he figured it out, he not only kept up with Snake Man, but he was outperforming him. In fact, when they were throwing hands, Luffy was the one getting hurt more. And when they threw their final attacks at each other, Luffy got knocked out first. But when Luffy got back up first and put his hat over Katakuri's mouth, it's because they now both respected each other.